Hi everyone, welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How are you guys doing today? Happy Friday. Guys, it is Friday. Happy Friday to you all. I'm here, what time is it? 1:02. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you for being here. And thank you, subscribers, to all of you guys. What it shows me is that these messages are resonating with you guys. So, it's not just me. You guys are feeling these messages. And thank you for being here and your comments. So continue to show up, subscribe to the channel, tell other people about this, because here we are here to build up. Guys, everything in this world today, it seems like it's falling into chaos. Right, guys? Toxicity, drama. Anything on a negative seems to be the normal for today's world that we live in. So it's important. This is why I always emphasize, I can't emphasize it enough, the importance of taking care of your mental and physical health. Guys, and I do this all the time. Sometimes I slip, I'm human, and like Tuesday I took off because I was so exhausted. I did so much. I had a project going on that I was taking care of, and it took more time than I wanted it to. And then my body was so tired I couldn't do anything. So I had to, I sent on a community, I posted on a community board that I just had to take that day. And it's important to do that. So even with myself, and I'm trying to do better with that. So guys, make sure on a daily basis that you are self-caring. Whether it's 2 hours a day for yourself, just you. You know how people say, I need some me time? That's important because it helps you to, it's just like when you download a computer, how do you say, what am I trying to say? It's like your phone, it has where you have to clean up everything in the phone, and you have to download something. Right now, the word is in my head, but it's not coming out. But anyway, you guys know what I mean, like computer programming, things, you have to regenerate your energy, everything, because you can get burned out so easily. And so when I start feeling like that, I have to take a time out, But guys, make sure, even if it's an hour or 2 hours, that you're doing something that builds up your spirit, that build you up. Because these are the things that's going to help your physical and mental health. Look in the mirror every day and tell yourself, I am worth it. Build up your self-esteem. Never let your self-esteem suffer and be down to the ground. Never stay around individuals who put you, your self-esteem, who try to put your self-esteem in a gutter. Set boundaries. Set strong boundaries. And go and heal and take care of yourself. Because it's too much. It's like a volcano that's spilling over with so much toxicity in this world. And I try my best on a daily basis to just take in a little bit. Because we need to know what's going on. That's important as well. So guys, with that being said, let's get into this topic of discussion. Before we do that, know that I'm not a therapist, I'm not a social worker, and I'm not a counselor. I'm just someone who went through a lot. And I haven't even spoken about a lot of things that were supposed to destroy me. But God came along, and as I took his hand, he lifted me right back up. Dusted me off and lifted me up. And if it wasn't for God, I probably wouldn't even be here right now. But if God is for me, people, and if God is for you, then who can be against you? The key factor is to persevere and don't give up. And you can feel weary, exhausted, but keep moving. Take a time out for yourself. Go right back to the drawing board when it comes to your healing, your mental and physical health. As I talk about in prior videos, your body is your temple. What you put into it is what's going to come out of it. Make sure you're taking care of your health. Make sure you're eating properly, you're getting the proper rest as well. And that's what I'm working on as well, getting a proper rest. But guys, let's keep moving forward and not going backwards. And with that being said, the topic of discussion today is healing, respect, and trigger moments. Again, healing, respect, and trigger moments. And this is a little intense for me, but it's important to talk about this. Is anyone who's listening to this message today, what triggers you? And when I say trigger moments, that makes you have a negative reaction to something. This is what I'm talking about. Guys, I have gone through so much abuse in my life where I was so low to the ground where I couldn't get any lower, but in the ground basically, that when God lifted me up, even though God will help us and lift us up, as we do the work and we persevere, it leaves scars. And sometimes because we have deep embedded scars, sometimes certain things trigger us. And I can tell you, one of the things that trigger me is disrespect and being dismissive, because that person is showing you your value is worth zero. You're nothing. So sit down, shut up, be quiet, go away, kind of thing. That's what I see when I see disrespect. And one of the things for me, communication is the key factor. And the other thing for me is when someone tells somebody something and they don't get the other side of the story, they just go for what somebody said. If anybody tell me anything about anybody, and I'm not going to just believe what I hear, I'm going to go to the source. And if it's not a particular source, I'm going to research to see what they're telling me, if it's the truth. You know, I'm going to research. I'm not going to jump on a bandwagon and say, yeah, she or he did this and blah, blah, and gossip and all that stuff is toxicity. And you don't know what you're doing to that other individual, especially somebody like myself who've gone through things that no one human being can go through unless you have God. It leaves scars, deep-rooted scars. Even though we're healed, you know, the scars are still there. And like I said, besides the moment of grief triggers because of all the losses of 2020, the trigger of abuse is what gets to me. You know, when someone is disrespectful, disregarding you, being dismissive, and you do what I tell you type of attitude, yelling at me to do, I have a trigger moment with that. And one of the things that get to me the most is when a person hears a side of a story, but they don't hear the other side. They just go with the flow over here without interacting with the person in question to find out what's really going on. Because how can you make a conscious decision when you hear something about someone, but you don't get it from the horse's mouth? You don't give them an opportunity to say anything because you're ego tripping and it's going to be like this. And also, when someone wants you to kiss up to them and you know, be afraid of them and just, you know, how can a person have respect under those circumstances? Respect is a two-way street. And some people don't understand that. Respect is a two-way street. Whether it's a romantic setting, a business environment, or family or friends, it is a two-way street. And one of the things, like I said, disrespect, speaking to me in a disrespectful manner feels abusive. And it's a trigger moment. You know, we all have them. Even though we're on this journey to heal, we all have moments of trigger. And that's what triggers me. And I'm still learning how to put that intact so it doesn't get out of control. Because I tell you, this week has been moments of trigger. And I keep moving forward, talking to God in prayer, asking Him to help me with this. Because when I think people will understand better if they knew what I went through. You know, and it's not something little, and it's not to say, oh, everybody goes through that. Everybody doesn't go through what certain situations I'm talking about. And I haven't even gotten to those topics as of yet. I talked to my therapist about this. We were talking earlier today, and I was telling him about the trigger moments, the trigger moments of grief that comes upon me, still missing all my loved ones who passed away and friends during the shutdown. Trigger moments of just people, because I don't interact a lot and I don't have a lot of friends, a lot of people anymore, because I've set strong boundaries and I've saw a lot of things behind the mask that I talk about that people are wearing. Because like I said, when everything is good and you're doing well, everybody is around you, but when things get intense and there's situations that's going around, and somebody who really has your back will be there for you during the good times and bad times, whether it's friendships, family, or a personal relationship, or just a business setting. And when people start ego tripping and saying A, B, C, and D, then it's not only does it trigger me, it sets me in a situation where I pull back my energy, because I know that I have to be in a moment of staying in that place of healing and find a peaceful place to be. Because like I said, it's beginning to seem to be the normal in this world today of toxicity. And it seems like if you do something nice for people, what does she want? Why is she being nice to me? Or why is he being nice to me? What do they want? What they're out for? And a person could be genuinely just being nice. Never take advantage of someone with a kind heart, especially someone who rides with God, because God sees everything. And when he see you giving your best and you're persevering through all this stuff, you're talking to him, you're doing everything in an upright, and someone comes along because of their envy, jealousy, and hate, because they don't like you because you're a woman, or because you shouldn't be in this kind of connection with God, or whatever it is they don't like you for. I don't like the way you talk, I don't like the way you walk, I don't like your hair, I don't like this, I don't like. But those are OPPs, other people's problems. Those are not your problems. You can't make people like you. My thing is what God thinks about me, because that's the source here, And if you're doing everything in an upright and you're doing what you're supposed to, and someone wants to lie on you and create drama, set boundaries. And I have to learn not just to set boundaries, but really walk away from the drama. And sometimes, guys, these things happen unexpectedly with other individuals, and then they're showing you who they are. Just walk away, because it's not worth it. And when someone pushes you to the limit without justifiable cause, that really triggers me. And then I go into a place where I have to go into a 3-day prayer and meditation and fasting, so that I can change my mindset about the whole situation, so that I can move on. And what I do at that point is I limit my contact with individuals this way. Because if you continue to interact on this level, it can trigger you. It can bring moments of trigger, which is not good. So even though I've healed a lot of things, I still have moments of trigger. Moments of grief trigger as well. One day at a time, guys, one step at a time. That's why I always share with you guys from a place of my personal experiences. When I get on here and I talk about these different topics, everything I talk about, I've gone through them. And like I said, certain things I haven't even gotten to yet, that it will take me some time to talk about, because it has been so horrific. And I'm at a point of my life right now to heal, not to take in any more toxicity or toxic individuals or circumstances. Remember, guys, I always talk about situations and circumstances come into our life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, or a lesson. And in my case, it's been a lot of hard lessons, unlearned lessons, but I learn ways to learn them quickly so I don't have to repeat them. And sometimes it's important to set boundaries, especially with toxic individuals. And sometimes people get caught up in the situation because it's family. We share DNA. It doesn't matter. If you have a family member who's always begging for money, don't want to work, don't want to take care of themselves, and they want you to do it, set strong boundaries. In my case, I had to reiterate my boundaries and then eventually get to the point of cut off, block, and delete. And I free myself of those burdens that I describe as a metaphor, the tons of bricks carrying up a hill that you can't really carry those burdens because they're too heavy. And then I give it to God. I cry about it, whatever, because I am human, and then I keep moving forward. I don't keep that. Don't let that stuff make you feel stagnated and stuck. And I talked in a few videos back about bitterness, because if you're bitter and angry and walking around like that, God may have blessings for you, but He can't allow you to manifest and receive those blessings if you're in a place of bitterness and hating and angry all the time. We have to release that. And one of the ways I release that is in prayer, meditation, taking care of myself, and forgiving. And the forgiveness is not for the individuals or the circumstances or situations. It is for us so that we can release, so that we can receive and move on and close those doors or either set strong boundaries. That's why, and you can't receive anything good. You can't, because you got this door of bitterness open over here. So until you close that door, forgive and let it be where it is, then you can open up this new door of beginnings and receive the blessings and everything good that God has for you. And I had to learn that as well. And as I started to do those things, life started to get better. So guys, release these things that no longer serve your life. You don't need to hold on to them. And if you have problems, ask God to help you. One of the places I will encourage you to start is therapy, because there is an outlet for the pain. Because the pain, you can speak with the therapist about it. And the more you talk about it and the more that you find ways to deal with these things, the more that you're clearing out that pain. You're always going to have scars from it. But use that pain to turn into power into purpose, so that you can talk to others and help them through your own personal experiences by telling them how you became an overcomer instead of succumbing to these problems and situations. That's the message today, guys. Please show up, share this message and other videos with other people, because some people need to hear what I'm talking about today, because somebody or somewhere who's listening might be going through these trials and tribulations. So one day at a time, guys, one brick at a time. Nothing ventured is nothing gained. Thank you all for being here again today, and have a great weekend. Please subscribe to the channel, because I don't give a set time, Monday through Friday, when I'm here. So if you subscribe, you'll get a notification as to when I'm on. Thank you again, guys. Enjoy your weekend, and don't forget to self-care. Take care of yourself. If you're okay, then you can take care of everything else around you and outside yourself. This is Lisa, shedding love and light. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you sometime on Monday. Bye for now, guys.